This is a tutorial on how to do Lumos skip in HP3. I'm going to show off the full version of the skip and the backup version, but I highly suggest if you are a newer runner that you go for the backup version, because even though it loses a minute and a half compared to the full version of the skip, it is easier, allows you to get more runs in, and you only need the full version if you're going for a top time. I'm going to show off the full version first, then the backup version. So let's get started. The first pause you want to do with the select menu, and you want to pause when Harry is in the animation walking out of the door. If you can see Harry in that animation walking out of the door, it will work. Do not pause early when you see the door or a black screen. That will not work. Also, only use the select menu for this pause. And that is because the select menu for this pause is very free, and you can get it every time. The other two pauses are a lot more precise, and with the select menu you only get one try with the pause because of the immense amount of lag you get after the select menu that it will not let you pause again. So it will only be one try, and I highly suggest just using the pause menu for the rest of the pauses. Okay. After the first pause, we come to the second pause, which the second pause is harder, and it requires specific frames for it to work. The second pause needs the first few frames of the back of Harry's head to work. Those specific frames are always the same, and you can tell once you get better at it. You can tell which frames they are, and you'll be able to notice better. If you can't tell the frames, then you'll know if it worked if you look to your left. The door that is usually locked is just gone. If that door is just gone, then it worked. If the door is there, then you failed, and you have to go all the way back to attempt it again. And you have to do the first pause again and the second pause again, so on and so forth. This will work. This is a frame that will work. As you can see here, the door is gone, and the instrument fight won't trigger, because the instruments are deloaded. Now, for the third pause of this, you need to know that the game loads stuff in not based on the player, but based on the camera. The camera is the position that the game uses to load things in. So it doesn't attempt to load something in when Harry walks into the room. It attempts to load something in when the camera enters the room. And that is very important for this pause, because this pause has no door and there is no animation. You have to basically free pause this one. This pause is right when the camera enters the room, and when I mean enter the room, I mean when it goes past the door frame. And you will know if this works or not, because if you get the pause menu is so laggy, you can tell immediately that you got it. And if you fail it, you can see everything in the room load in, like the ghoul, the plane, the fence, so on and so forth. Come on. As you can see here, I failed it. So on and so forth. I'll show you a succeeding attempt with the backup version. And if you're gonna go for the backup immediately, you need to kill the instruments and watch the Neville cutscene. If you're gonna go for the full version, then do the backup, and you fail this pause, you will need to switch to Ron, run over here to trigger the instrument fight, And then watch the cutscene.
Just leave me alone.
Alright. Now that you've watched this cutscene, to attempt the backup version, you need to run all the way over here, and we're gonna do the backup version on these two doors. The first pause is the same as the first pause in full Lumos skip. It can be literally anywhere as long as you see Harry walking around, and do it with the select menu. The second pause is the same as the second pause in full Lumos skip. First few frames of the back of Harry's head and it will work. Like so. This pause will work and everything is deloaded. This is how the room will look when it's deloaded. You can walk through things and stuff. But what's important to the skip is this gate is gone. Now that the gate is gone, you want to run over here and get the camera in this area so the door loads back in, then open the door. This should trigger the robot fight. And that should be the entire skip. What I'm going to show now is after the robot fight, what you need to do to get Lumos. Because, as you know, in the challenge you get Lumos. And, in fact, I do not have Lumos right now because I have yet to grab the book, but I'm further in progression than the game thinks I am. And what I highly suggest for this fight is to get close to Harry and hit call friends, so Harry does not get in the way and attempt to wander around the robot, and you can still hit your shots on the robot. Alright. Now that the robot is dead, do not attempt to make any further progress. And you need to pause your game and save. You need to save your game. And you need to quit out. Then you need to reload that save you just created. And what this does is it makes the game think that you're further on than what you actually did. So it updates the game state. And now you have Lumos. Now that you have Lumos, you would just continue on as normal. And that is how you do Lumos skip.